The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
We just see cuts happen.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know.
What's the coroner got to say? He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails,
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
no one will survive. From Wes Craven, director of The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, a new masterpiece in fantasy terror, Nightmare on Elm Street.
The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And welcome, everyone, to Scarefest Television. The original broadcast date, 11/21, November 21st, 2025. It's almost time to say Happy Thanksgiving. Of course, now tonight, Joe at Bonehead does review Frankenstein 2025. And my co-host tonight, Barbara Jane, who I actually input your name right tonight, right, on the screen, and didn't try to go back to an old Beach Boys song from the 70s for no God-known reason. And then, of course, our guest tonight is the lovely Amanda Wyss, fresh off of her stint at Scarefest, and probably God knows where else, because this is a busy woman, everybody. I do want to get in here and give everybody our
Today in Obscure Holidays.
Little suspense there. I need to shorten that. It is National Stuffing Day. National Stuffing Day. In case you didn't know, stuffing is a major player in the world of Thanksgiving. Let's face it, chicken, turkey, anything can pop at the right time of year. But when we want to dress those birds, there's no substitute for some good old carbifilling. God, they're making up words in my descriptions now. Even better, stuffing comes in all shapes and sizes. There's no hard and fast rules. And that's enough about stuffing for tonight. Over to our guest. I'm sorry you had to sit through that, Amanda. Everybody, I'm doing a public apology, and I've already apologized to Amanda. Why didn't anybody correct me in the chat room? I've announced this woman like 3 times over the years, and I've said her last name wrong every goddamn time. So I'm holding the fans accountable for letting me do that. Okay, Amanda, I'm going to start off by gushing over something. Okay, I told you everybody doing my normal homework where I spend the entire week when I have a celebrity on, and watching as much stuff of hers as I can. Incidentally, I wasted $4 watching the wrong Friday 13th movie or Elm Street movie because I clicked the wrong link, but then I did rent the other one. So I'm also I'm caught back up on that. Maybe better than you, according to you.
Yes, possibly.
Over 100 IMDb credits, people. And now here's what I want to know about. You're the first actress to come on this show that I can think of that doesn't have a gap in her resume.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't take the, getting married, having babies time off. So I think that's a lot of the gaps that women experience in Hollywood because men don't have to take that time off. So I think that I don't have children, so I didn't have that gap. I think
Lovely.
that's what it is.
And now everybody, that's the whole pay difference. That's the pay gap that y'all keep talking about. I know it was surprising to me. I mean, I've had, hell, Beatrice Buckley goes to Taiwan every 10 years and takes, a decade off. But so I got to kind of watch your progression. Now, you did a lot of TV work.
Yes.
A lot of TV work, but I got it. Okay, I'm going to take you back now.
Okay.
A little movie called Shakma.
Oh my God. Best trailer ever.
I didn't even watch the trailer. I should have pulled up the trailer. I sat through that entire movie. Now, incidentally, one of your biggest parts that I've found as far as screen time, if I really wanted Amanda Wyss screen time, what's the movie to watch?
The Id.
The Id. Okay, yeah, that's one of your newer ones, right? Yeah,
that one. It's one of my favorite.
It got honorable mention. I think I had to rent it, and I didn't go that far.
Yeah.
But okay, I do have an actual question about Shakma. On the baboons, I guess they were baboons, orangutans, some fucking monkey, I don't know.
Baboon.
I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure that those were not CGI baboons, people. This was long before CGI. How did they get those things to go, pardon the expression, ape shit?
First of all, that baboon's real name was Typhoon, and he'd been in many films. He was very well trained. He'd been raised by his last name is Cox. I can't think of his first name now. Very sorry. Lovely, sort of an exotic animal trainer, and his animals were in movies and things. And Typhoon had been literally like in major films, and he was actually like a really gentle. He'd been raised indoors a lot and used to ride around on the back of Mr. Cox's, because I can't think of his first name's motorcycle and things like that. And Mr. Cox was not able to come to our filming because he had animals in a million other movies. But so there was somebody else, I forget the man's name, who was sort of the baboon wrangler for Shakma. And he would get him riled up. And it seemed kind of mean in a way, because he was not a riled up creature, but there was electric fencing. So they would get him riled up and then release him. And, there was like some really funny direction, like I had to run down this hallway and I had on, it was linoleum and I was wearing ballet flats. And I said, well, what happens if I slip? And the director was like, don't. They were just going to release him and he was going to chase me down the hallway. So they gave me a head start. I had to get inside this door, and he hit the door so hard that Grips and other crew people had to come around and were trying to hold the door closed so that he didn't, because he I don't know, he didn't realize we were acting. But but there were electric fencing, but he did walk through that occasionally. He was like, I don't care about the fencing.
People, you need to go back and watch this movie. I think I would have been terrified being on set with this animal. I don't care how well trained he is. If I was training a dog and he would do that on command, I would start putting him down. Yeah, that is. I mean, it's the monkey's the real star of the movie. I'll put that out there.
Yeah, he is. He is, and he was super intimidating in person, and but really beautiful. And I don't think he was the gentleman whose first name I can't remember. He and I did a screening of Shakma a few years ago here in Hollywood, and he talked about how Typhoon, Shakma, wasn't the same after that movie because of the way he was being riled up. It sort of made it so he had to lead a more he he didn't do any more movies after that, and he lived in a what's that called, like a preserve place after that movie. So I mean, I think it might have been a semi-tragic end to Typhoon, or a gift that he got put back more into nature. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was definitely. There were moments where I was like, "Is this a snuff film? Like, is somebody actually trying to kill me?" I wasn't certain of the outcome, I have to tell you. I was like, "Oh, what's going on with this movie?" But it was an amazing cast for such a, kind of bizarre little movie. I mean, there's not many movies about an irradiated baboon while people are playing a fake version of Dungeons and Dragon in a college science lab. I mean, with Roddy McDowell. It doesn't happen in every film.
I'll be the first to confess, when I turned it on, and first of all, they didn't even have it in letterbox format, so I didn't even know it might have been a TV movie. I didn't look. I'm assuming it's one that they put on VCR and they never bothered transferring it back.
I think so.
But I'm sitting there going, "Oh, I'm going to hate this. I'm going to hate every minute of it." And I didn't.
I know.
I did not hate that movie. First of all, you could tell it was practical. I couldn't. Did they, at least on the attack scenes, did they have some guy with a puppet, shoving an orangutan or head, whatever that is?
They did. They didn't, but they used that as little as possible, really. Yeah, they could not have Typhoon come up on someone. I just think he was blurred. The lines were blurred for him about, is this a meal or is this?
It's like a dog. If they ever kill a chicken,
Are we pretending? But something funny. This is something funny that came from the film. When you said you liked it, and I said I know, I didn't mean I know that you would like it. It's just weirdly semi-engaging. It's much more engaging than you think it's going to be. And I highly recommend people watch the trailer. It's done like a 1950s, Attack of the Killer Tomato kind of thing. And there's an announcer that screams Shakma. And it's just fantastic. It's even better than the movie. And, oh gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, somebody brilliant apparently we all have not apparently, we do all have walkie-talkies, but apparently we say over constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there? Over. So somebody edited together every single time someone says over in the movie to a great song, and it's like this funk kind of it was pure genius. And it's just everybody saying over. And oh my gosh, it's so the fan additions to Shakma, I think, are some of the best in any of the movies that I've done. Like the most creative. I mean, people do things about Nightmare on Elm Street all the time, but to take an obscure film and have people create these things that are brilliant, I feel very honored that I get to, be a part of something so creative anyway, thank you for bringing it up. It's a silly but fun movie.
I've got one more question before we go to break, then I'll give Barb the whole next segment for her to catch up with me. And you've probably been asked this a million times. On the famous Friday or Nightmare on Elm Street thing where you're on the ceiling. Okay, it made sense to me when you were flying about the room. Okay, harness, rope, I get it. How'd they actually do the ceiling part?
I was always on the floor. The room rotated around, and the camera was affixed to the wall, so that was the point of view of the audience. And I was always on the floor, and they would rotate the room, and I would go up. I went up the wall and then onto the ceiling, but I was always on the floor.
That was my first guess, but you never know. There's just some really creative people out there. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back, and Barb's going to be talking to Amanda.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Rue Morgue magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subissati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
All right. Well, hello again, Amanda. And I wanted to say happy early birthday, since I know your birthday's on Monday. So
thank you so much. Yeah, it's a big one.
My sister's birthday shares the same birthday with you, and so it's landed on Thanksgiving before.
Yes. Yes. I was born on Thanksgiving.
Oh no, so, you really were, huh?
Yeah. So every 7 years, on Thanksgiving 2 years ago. Well, your sister would know. I know it's definitely not on Thanksgiving this year, but yes, growing up, I often had a pie for my birthday cake until I was like around 14, and I was like, enough with the pie. I want a cake like everyone else. I want a cake with candles. So because I was being a brat about it, my mom got a ice cream cake shaped like a turkey.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
She was like, there you go.
That's so perfect. Yeah, I had sent Wes like a random thing. I was like, hey, on her birthday, does she realize, does Day of the Dead came out on your birthday, on the year that it came out?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool piece of trivia. Now you know that it's, you share your birthday with the release of Day of the Dead.
You know what? It was just a harbinger of where my career was going to go.
It was just like speaking all of that cool horror into existence.
I love it. I love it.
So I had a question for you. I know that when you originally read for the part, you read for Nancy, and I see that this happens a lot where someone will go in totally expecting to try to audition for one role, and they're like, hey, you know who you'd be perfect for? This one.
Yeah.
So how did that, can you talk about how that process went, and just, the emotions of now you have to switch gears into another role?
Well, I think everyone read for Nancy. I mean, all the girls for Tina or just because Tina doesn't have that much dialogue. I mean, enough for, she doesn't have pages of dialogue. So, and I really wanted the role of Nancy, and Heather's my best friend in real life. So glad she's perfect. She was absolutely perfect for it. So I read for that, and when I got called back and it was for Tina, I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And so I met with Wes, and he talked me into it because he's like, no. He'd seen a TV movie I did that had come out like a year before called My Mother's Secret Life that I starred in with Lonnie Anderson. And he just thought of me for the role of Tina because of that character, a somewhat similar character, but obviously not a horror film, just a drama. But I was like, I don't want to do it. My agents were like, you can't do a horror film, because back then people didn't cross over like they do now. And but then there was just, Wes was so engaging about it that I was like, I gotta do this. I don't even know what he's talking about, but I've gotta do it. I don't know what he means by he hooked me, and it was probably just egocentrically he hooked me. He's like, you're going to be the heart of the film. Everyone's going to think you're the final girl, and you're going to suck everyone in. And then when you die, everyone's going to be like, what? And so, of course I was like, yes. Feeling very full of myself. And but that is kind of what ended up happening. So, he was a genius. So had nothing to do with me.
And I know you don't watch a lot of horror, right? Because you don't like being scared, which there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm glad you're making some horror pieces for us. So,
yes.
But like 12 years later, I think it's cool that he did that very same thing with Drew Barrymore in Scream. So
yes.
you probably haven't seen it, but you know about it.
No, I did see that because
okay.
It had, because I was told through the grapevine that it was an homage to me, and like she wore her little bob like me, and that, you know, basically had the same setup. And then even in the LA Times when they reviewed it, they were like, brilliant homage to Amanda Wyss, and I was like, so.
Oh, that's such an honor. And there's been so many times in movies that they've redone it. I mean, even in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, they, you know, redid it for New Nightmare, where they had the babysitter up on the wall or up on the ceiling. And then again in the remake, and it's just, you watch it and it automatically, you think about, you know, the original Tina in 1984. How can you not?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, you know, I think, and I do watch some horror. I tend to like this movie that I was telling you about that I'm really proud of. I mean, it's not a perfect film, but it's the best role I've ever had, the id. It's more of like psychological horror. I tend to, there's some body horror, like when it's just like mutilation and stuff. I don't want things put in my brain that are going to traumatize me that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. But psychological horror, or even, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's technically a slasher because he slashes us. But if you take those few slash scenes out, it's really just a kind of sad thriller about 4 kids whose parents have sort of abandoned them. And so I like horror like that, where it's more, where the script has a definite story. And I read somewhere that all great horror is intrinsically sad. And it can't be sad if there's not a good story and a good script. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I tend to like those more than just chop them up, eyeball horror, chopping off limbs for no reason. Like, it's just not my thing, but all of my friends love it, including my husband. Is like, I don't understand why you don't like it. Just don't. But I like a good, scary, psychological, you know, there can be murder and mayhem. I just like gross out body horror. It's just not my thing.
So question for you then, is Silence of the Lambs, that kind of falls more into the category of movies that you would watch? Or is that still a little bit too jumpy?
No, I watched that. Like, I watched those. I like those. And what's the quiet one?
The Quiet, I think it's called The Quiet, isn't it?
The Quiet Place. Like things like that, where you're like, feel like you're going to die from the tension. So it's more in your head than giving you the gross stuff. Does that make sense?
Right, it does, because I'm the same way with like the Terrifier movies. I watched the first 2, but I watched a lot of it like this, which is, I don't know.
That's fine too.
I mean, I wanted to see it because I was going to a convention and the cast of Terrifier was going to be on a panel. I thought I should probably watch the movie, right? You know, so that I know what they're talking about. But you're right, because there's an audience for every genre, and I just feel like I'm just probably not the audience for that.
Yeah. And they're all like the nicest people when you meet them.
Yes.
And you go, you guys are in, I mean, and Damien is a genius, and they're all just wonderful. I just can't take it. Like, I've tried to watch things, and even I went to a premiere with Heather Langenkamp for a movie she did, and it was so flippin' scary. I was just screaming inappropriately, ruining the movie for everyone around me because I would just scream at all the wrong moments. And so I'd ruin the next jump scare because someone would open a cupboard and I would just scream. I don't know why it scared me. They were opening a cupboard. I don't even know. And I just realized, like, also people wanted to kill me. And I was like, I am going to be killed in this. So I'm just not cut out for it. I don't know why.
No, I totally get it. And I feel like there's certain genres, like you said, psychological thrillers or psychological horror. I feel like, you know, for me and for other people, it may be more like slashers or boogeyman type.
Yeah.
Like Michael Myers, Jason. I think because my brain knows this is fake. This can't hurt me. But there are some movies that not even just, you know, some movies that are overly violent that really get in my head, that I'm sure for you too, where, like you said, you don't want to be thinking about this for weeks on end, that it's stuck there now, and now you're going to be checking in your car. And so,
yeah, so there's things like that. And I also think, like, you had just said something, made me think of, well, I was going to say, when I was in this isn't what I was going to say. You said something I agree with you, and I can't think what it was because I'm a spaz right now. But
the boogeyman movies.
The boogeyman movies. Okay, I have two things I want to say. One about Wait Until Dark. I'll get back to it. But I saw the new Halloween movies, and I'd never seen. I just assumed the early ones I would have thought were too scary. I thought they were so freaking fantastic, and with Jamie Lee and that Judy, and they were just so wonderful. And Michael Myers was wonderful, and it was such a good story. And that movie was intrinsically sad, and it didn't mean there wasn't all the slashery stuff, but it was a really just genuinely scary, creepy, sad movie. Do you know what I mean?
Well, so you saw all three, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the middle one, Halloween Kills, I mean, it does take moments to show you where Karen is in the bathroom and she's washing her hands, the blood off her hands, and she's looking down at her wedding ring, and she's upset because, yeah, this is a reminder she lost her husband that night. So yeah. I do like when horror movies can kind of bring us back into, oh yeah, this happened. This was something like there's real emotions in the characters here. So it's good storytelling, you know, which I'm sure you'd agree. Yeah.
I think so. I do agree. And I was going to say, do you remember a movie called Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn?
Oh my gosh, I had forgotten about that movie.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So I grew up in a small beach town. It's a big beach town now, but it was small when I grew up there. And the local high school would show movies on, say, a Friday or Saturday night or something. I don't remember. I was a little kid. My older sister would take us. And one night in the school cafeteria, they were showing Wait Until Dark. She took us. And it was the first scary movie I'd ever seen. I was probably, I think, in the 4th grade. To this day, I can't walk upstairs that you can reach through without thinking of that movie.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Because he grabbed her ankle through those stairs. And that was just, you never saw people getting chopped up in that movie or anything. It is one of the scariest movies. I mean, she's blind. These men have home invaded her. I mean, but that movie, all these years later, like, that's how powerful cinema is, like, in those things that, you know, that somebody, and that's just a genuinely, I don't know if they classified that as horror back then, but I would definitely say it's like a thriller / horror, if nothing else.
Right, suspense thriller. Well, and these are the moments that when the power goes out, I can recall there was a time where I was swapping laundry from the washer to the dryer. I literally had laundry in my hands and the power went out, and I stood there frozen. Like I was actually so scared that my husband yelled down the stairs, I'm coming right now.
You're like, no. Oh my God.
Yeah, he just knew how scared I would be. And I'm like, I don't want to say anything, because like in the movies, when you yell out, that's when they know where you are. It's so ridiculous.
You and
I know.
We're the same person. We're literally the same person. Like, I get paralyzed with fear. And if someone was trying to save me, I'd be too afraid to let them know where I was, because I'd be sure that it's probably not them. Yeah.
Because someone else might get to you before the savior. I don't know.
Totally. And oh my God, we're the same person.
Oh gosh.
I was going to say the other scary movie. Have I gotten us too far off track?
No, we're good. We're good.
When I was 14, my older sister's friend took myself and my younger sister to see Jaws. You know, like I said, I grew up at a beach. We were surfers. My dad had a boat. We used to take it out from the marina all the time, jump off the boat in the middle of the ocean, swim around. We'd go to Catalina. swam there. I went to camp there every summer, just jumping off the end of piers and swimming. I walked into Jaws, a beach girl, pier jumping, boat jumping person, and left that. Never surfed again, never jumped off my dad's boat again. Found out great white sharks are all around Catalina. Didn't know that back then. And again, the power of cinema. Like, I went in one person and I was biologically changed as I walked out of that theater. And I mean, to be in a movie that powerful would be like so cool. Like, where you go, you know, that literally transforms people. And so Jaws is my favorite scary movie because that movie took something and changed me. I mean, like in 2 hours, I was a different person when I walked out. And I've always marveled at the magic of that.
Well, in movies like Jaws and another one, Final Destination 2, where we never again look at log trucks the same if we're on the highway.
I haven't even seen that movie. I only saw the trailer. I feel that way.
Yes.
Just from, like, the trailer.
You're like,
yeah.
And lane change.
Totally.
And on that note, this is a perfect timing for Wes's announcement. So we'll go there and we'll come back to you, Amanda.
Okay.
And of course, we're reminding everyone, Spawn of Scarefest coming up June 5th through 7th, 2025. Spawn of Scarefest, our first ever hotel show coming up in 2026. Marriott Griffin Gate. And it's got a website and everything. SpawnofScarefest.com. And now to sweeten that deal, Platinum tickets. Platinum tickets. Spawn of Scarefest is taking shape, and the Platinum experience is almost here. Platinum and hotel rooms go on sale Monday, November 24th at 8 p.m. Full package and room details posted beforehand so you can plan your horror getaway. Now, I happen to know some of you are trying to get your hotel room, thinking you're sneaking it. I got bad news for you. There's only 2 levels of tickets. We're going to have the Platinum, the VIP, room, package, everything. That's it on VIP. So, yeah, if we're famous for people fighting over VIP tickets, and now you all are bypassing it. Don't even know. So, also, I want to remind everybody that, did I miss one here? Because also, okay, I thought I had another slide. Anyway, T-shirts. Oh, there it is. T-shirts. We have T-shirts. This is the last weekend, your last chance to purchase the Scarefest exclusive Reaper shirt, the Reaper shirt from years past. I forget what year it was, but year past. They're cutting these off November 23rd. So I don't want to hear you all bitch. Oh, I didn't get mine. All right. And also spawnofscarefest.com, spawnofscarefest.com. If you would like to put in your vendor application, because we won't have a lot, we won't have as many. This is a smaller venue. This is going to be such a shock to you. Smaller venue, smaller convention, but we are taking vendor applications right now. And don't forget, there it is. Okay.
I'm looking.
The Central Kentucky Mystical Market. We got one more of those this year. December. I'm confused on the website. I'm going to admit it, so check them out on Facebook. December 20th, but then they have times for Saturday and Sunday. So I'm assuming it is a 2-day show, but just in case, you can find them on Facebook. Central KY Mystical Market down off of.
I want to go to that.
You should. You really should. And one last thing I want to bring up. Barbara Ann's little project she's got going. This week's episode is with Josh Harold of the N&M podcast. They're discussing the most sympathetic and impactful deaths in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So it's just like a Nightmare on Elm Street extravaganza this week in the Scarefest family. And of course, everybody, our guest tonight is the lovely and talented Amanda Wyss. Okay, first of all, I'm going to follow up with you here. Powerful. You used the term powerful. Powerful movies like Jaws. And yet, you're sitting there being a part of some of the most iconic movies in the history of moviedom. You were in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
Of course, Nightmare. Better Off Dead, Silverado, Powwow Highway, and I admit I don't even know what Powwow Highway is.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, you've got 3 films in the National Film Registry. They don't let anybody in there.
I know. I literally go, what? It's amazing to me.
Now, everybody,
it's not my accomplishment, but I'm proud of it.
Well, no, you contribute to the accomplishment. Everybody, if you're wondering, okay, the National Film Registry, the category is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And yeah, so they don't let just any film in there. Shakma did not make the list. Okay,
no, it did not. They were robbed.
I have to agree. Now, I got a couple more movies that I watched. Like I said, your part, foundation part, but didn't continue through the movie. But first, I want to know. I kind of get the impression that if you, of course, you do a lot of TV work, so there's not as much horror work there. What is, if you could concentrate on one genre of movie, what is your favorite genre of movie to work in? Not just to watch, to actually work in. I think I know, but I'm going to.
Well, I'm going to say drama. That's the thing that I do the most. I really love diving, but horror is dramatic too. Like I like the drama. What were you going to say? Because
for some reason, I got the impression you would, even though you didn't get to do a lot of, you really liked Westerns.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. I freaking love Westerns, and I've had the opportunity to do 3 or 4. And first of all, they're always dramatic. So they fall there with the drama. But there's something about Westerns because you're dealing with elements and animals and weapons and constrictive clothing and kind of also like archetypal characters, because people kind of, there's like often Westerns are the hero's journey. And so, yes, if I could get on even, oh my God, I would Yellowstone or any of their 500 spinoffs. I just love them. There's something magical. I love the music in Westerns, and they're violent. They can be. I did one a couple years ago called Badland, and it was so much fun. And good call. You know me. You're like in my head. And yeah, I think that and then in TV it's usually drama. When I started out, I did a lot of sitcoms, and then I started doing drama, and then they said I wasn't funny. So I don't know. I'm drama it is, and I'm fine with that. I'm a good crier, and I'm a good intense eye person. Yes, I love Westerns. Thank you for saying that.
If now for the record though, anybody that says you're not funny, the writer sucks. That's up to the writer and the director. Sorry, anybody can be funny. I prove it every day.
So you are funny. And you know what I was going to say? What actors are coming to Little Scarefest?
We have no goddamn idea. They ain't told me. I know one celebrity. They've told me one. And so I think this is an experiment.
I'm just saying I wouldn't say no if they invited me.
I will pass that on.
So I love Scarefest. Big fan.
And okay, now that's something we'll be talking about. And maybe I've got a fan now. You'll watch some of the episodes. Our plan is to bring in, they'll be very limited as far as celebrities that have never been to Scarefest, because what we're actually wanting are celebrities that we've seen interact with the fans the best. And sometimes it's kind of a wild card if you're booking so-and-so, a big name. But when you've got the ones that the fans already have a emotional connection to. Now that's one thing you kind of brought up before the show. Horror fans are a different type of fan than anybody. In your doing other types of movies, do you get to go to so-called Comic-Cons, other type of conventions? I know you're a big hit at the horror conventions.
I do. I do go to Comic-Cons. In fact, I'm going to one in 2 weeks. I'm with Robert England. I'm going to Steel City Comic-Con. And it's interesting because at Comic Cons I get a hybrid of people, you know, because I've done I was on the Highlander TV series, so there's that kind of fantasy type element, and then the 80s comedies, Better Off Dead and Fast Times. But anyway, horror conventions, there's nothing like them. First of all, I love the intimacy of them, although some of them are getting much bigger, but they are often in a ballroom. And I love people coming up and telling me the story of what Nightmare on Elm Street means to them, and how it healed them in some way, or they watch it with their family all the time. I love what people tell me. How old were they when they first saw it? Who'd they see it with? It's always a babysitter or an uncle when kids are too little, by the way, FYI. It just, I love to hold the people in that. They cry and laugh, and it's like this warm hug of community that doesn't exist in any other genre. And it's a really beautiful thing. And I fully embrace it. I think Robert, and because I first went to cons just with Robert and Heather, and they'd been going to them before I did. And so I learned from the best, and to be able to take all that in and let people share their experiences with me makes me feel really fortunate. And I feel like that's part of the reason that I'm even just here in the world, because I feel like so many conventions are like these sort of healing experiences and fun and filled with a lot of emotion. And I don't know if that's all horror or just the Nightmare franchise, because people tend to get really emotional, and I really value it, treasure it, feel honored, and just wholly embrace it, that it's just this beautiful thing that doesn't exist other places, in my opinion. That's been my experience.
I can't explain it, but horror fans seem to make a connection to the characters. I mean, to the actors to a certain degree, but that's easy enough.
But to the character, it really is the character.
Because even me, okay, now when when I get interviewed about Scarefest, they always say, "What's your favorite horror movie?" And I don't know that I've got some maybe that are a favorite, but the one that for whatever reason sticks in my mind when I think back is Elm Street. And honestly, and it's one scene. Well, it's two. You getting drugged through the hallway kind of had an effect on me too. But when he comes down that hall, the alleyway after you, and his arms stretch out, and in other words, it's not I'm rubbing his arms 12 foot long, rubbing the thing, making the noise. That for whatever reason, that had an effect on me that stuck in my mind all these years later. So I understand it, but I can't explain it either.
Yeah.
Barb, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes after this. Go ahead. No.
I was just going to say, I think Nightmare on Elm Street can connect in ways that maybe others can't, also because ultimately, and even Wes said, no one really knows whether it happened or whether it was all in dreams. Did Tina really die? Was it all in dreams? Like, even the ending is ambivalent. And so that adds this unconscious level of primal, it's one of the primal fears that people will think we're dead when we're not. Mm-hmm. We'll possibly be incinerated or buried.
I did this once. I took Delta 8 gummy, not knowing what it was, and I thought I died. I was sitting in his chair thinking I was dead. So that's
that's not good.
No,
I'm sorry.
It was all right.
That's scary. That's scary.
Let's go ahead and go to Bonehead, and then I will come back. We'll get Barb in on the conversation. Everybody will be right back.
Okay.
Hey, Scarefest, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly, and this week's review I can't do in 4 minutes and give it justice. From the outset, I just can't do it. This week's review is Frankenstein, Del Toro's new Frankenstein, which is on Netflix. It was out in the theaters for a few weeks before Halloween, I'm sure for Oscar contention. Frankenstein is Guillermo del Toro's dream project. The only thing done more than Frankenstein is probably Dracula. It's an interesting thing. There's a friend of mine named Jonathan Peacock, and you will know him from the Western Kentucky Ghostbusters, and he does these 2-sentence or 1-sentence spoiler-free reviews. And his was, it's not quite as close, absolutely dead set to Mary Shelley's actual novel, but it's also not quite completely Del Toro's, and it's somewhere in the middle. A lot of people love this movie. I love parts of this movie. I really do. So if it sounds like I'm complaining about it, it's not. I highly recommend it. Let's get it out of the way. It's well acted. It's beautifully done, but there are parts of it that I think lag. Frankenstein is told in 2 parts, Del Toro's. The first part is from Victor's perspective, and the second part is from the creature's perspective. And we're supposed to have empathy for both, and we do. And I was watching the making of it because I can't really delve into this too much in 4 minutes. And it struck me because even though there's parts of the movie I don't care for, there's things that he added, like how he gets the money and where he goes. That character who's played by Christoph Waltz, I actually enjoyed that. Some of the stuff with the brother, not so much. The thing that I love the most that he did to me, and I got teary-eyed at the end of the movie, was, to me, he made a movie, and he says it about fathers and sons. Once I heard him say it, I was like, yes, that's what you did. You made Frankenstein into fathers and sons. And not that it isn't the text and subtext, bare of subtext isn't already there. He just delves into fathers and sons and the relationships that we have with our fathers, the relationships that we have with our sons. I'll start getting upset about it right now. If some of you know me personally, I really like being a dad. I fail at it every day, but I love being a dad. As I watched it at the end, and this isn't a spoiler, but as there's a little bit of coming to terms with not only Victor, but his son, the creature, of accepting someone despite all their flaws, and the creature accepting the dad despite all the horrendous flaws, because they both have flaws. The son's not quite what he thought it would be, and his dad, absolute lack of empathy for him and who he is as a person. And that's to me what makes this movie really good, is it's not even subtext, is that we talk about our parents and how they're not perfect and they suck, and you know what, genuinely, we're not perfect and they suck, and just gives too much information. But I was thinking about, I probably was not what my dad, I look like my dad, but I'm not my dad, and I'm probably not what he desired in a son. Hope to never pass that on to my kid, but we do pass things on to our children, and we can't help it because we're all flawed. And at the end of the day, we kind of have to accept people for who they are and what they are, and we either accept them or we cut them out of our lives, and both of those are equally good answers. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it the greatest telling of this movie ever? Of the story ever? I don't know. It's hard because you're going up such icons, right? The Boris Karloff Frankenstein is it's here. Even if you don't know it, you've never seen the movie, you know what that is. It's part of pop culture. It's part of the zeitgeist. It's Del Toro, and he is an artist. This is a piece of art, and it's not meant for everyone. Will you read as much into it as I did? But it is a story about fathers and sons and acceptance and getting past the trauma that we cause each other. This has been Joe Lewis, Bonehead Weekly.
Zach Bales is a multifaceted individual with a wide range of interests in the paranormal, as indicated by his work as a cryptozoologist, ghost hunter, and ufologist. Born in Somerset, Kentucky, Bales has been fascinated by the paranormal since childhood, growing up in rural Kentucky. Join Wes and Joanna as he reviews his 2025 Scarefest Weekend Seminar presentation, Mothman, Winged Terror of Appalachia, where he detailed the history and mystery of Mothman, the demon-like creature with bulbous, blood-red eyes that tormented a small Appalachian town in the 1960s, and as he recounts his own experiences with bizarre Mothman-like phenomena. It's coming up Friday, November 28th on Scarefest TV.
And we're back. So during that little 3 or 4 minutes that the commercial break, we were chatting, and Amanda had mentioned that she likes paranormal. So I just want to kind of extend into that. Now, do you watch paranormal type of movies like The Conjuring or any of those? Are there too jump scares? Because I don't like jump scares either, but do you like to control it a little bit more?
So I went to a Conjuring movie with a group of friends, horror fans, directors. I thought I was going to die. I had my feet on the chair, my head in my lap, my hands, I had fingers in my ears. I was screaming bloody murder. And they said, you will never, ever come to another scary movie with us. So that's Heather, and all my friends are like, I'm just a terrible audience member. So first of all, I love the Conjuring movies. Hats off to anyone that sits through those, like with their eyes open and fingers out of their ears. And it's so scary. But there is not a paranormal show I won't watch. I'm obsessed with them, and I like paranormal movies too. The Conjuring is scarier than shit. It's so scary.
I can't do it.
And, no, it's based on a true story. I think that's what gets in my head. Like watching Sybil or something, where you go, well, now this is going to make me feel terrible forever because somebody actually did this to this child. You know what I mean? Or like some weirdo didn't make it up. Some weirdo did it. So I have, so there's things like The Conjuring, like that happened I'm sure we've exaggerated it in film, but it happened. That's scary.
Well, and those are the type of things too that make me, like, thinking back of Poltergeist with the clown underneath the bed and everything. I made my husband put the bed all the way to the floor so that nothing can be under there, because it has haunted me for decades. I cannot have, and if the closet door is cracked open like this, I have to get up and close it before the lights go out.
Me too. We are the same person.
Amanda, the boogeyman lives in there. You cannot let him out.
And under the bed. And when I stay in hotels, and obviously now all hotels have glass doors and stuff, but that long ago, a lot of the hotels, still had shower curtains. And I would go into a hotel room, and the first thing I did would be throw back the shower curtain super dramatically with I don't even know, something in my hand. Like I wasn't going to just die of a heart attack if there was somebody there. But so that's still in my head, that you're going to pull back the shower curtain and it's going to be like.
We never think about that. What are we going to do if someone is actually standing there? What are we going to do?
I don't know. I've got, my phone or whatever, or that was probably pre-phone, but I would do that. But the closet door has to be closed all the way. And when my husband's out of town, the bedroom door, I have to lock the bedroom door. I'm pretty sure that if somebody's come that far, they'll just kick the door down. But I feel better.
I feel like this is an unwritten rule for all of us, isn't it? Like,
yes. Yes.
So now, knowing how you feel about going to see the movie, would you ever go on like a tour, like an actual lights are off, go into a building kind of tour with flashlights to check out paranormal, or is that like a no-go for you as well?
Totally would, especially because I'm not going to be alone. There's going to at least be a camera person with me. I have all those gadgets. Those gadgets make me feel really safe.
You wave your arms and the camera. My AI now. Nina's hosting the rest of the show because my AI camera has no idea how to come back to me.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh well.
No.
Hi, Anita.
Oh my God. Mercury's retrograde.
Okay, now maybe if I do a little song and dance here, it'll come back. You wave your arms and it goes to you. I can stand over here and dance naked and it's not good. Look, you showed me how messy my office is. Get back over here.
Oh my God.
What I was actually going to
your man cave needs to be your expression. I call them beautiful mind rims.
My expression is basically a big garbage can. There's probably still papers where I threw them over my shoulder announcing speakers. Anyway, what I was going to say is the woman on camera right now, she is afraid of the dark. She makes me come to the door.
I am.
But you put her in a building ghost hunting, no problem.
I am right there. I am
Anita, seriously?
Seriously.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I love it.
Okay,
You know
go ahead.
I got to do a ghost hunting through the Alamo. We didn't find anything, but I was like, I'm made for this. I just give me the equipment, a camera person. Oh, I felt very thrilled.
Well, did you know, so Scarefest does that just about every year, right, Wes? There's some kind of a ghost hunt. Okay, I think Amanda should be like in one of those one of these times.
I am
special guest
in
Amanda Wyss, like Swiss.
Hold on, I'm your person. Yeah,
There you go.
I don't know why. I'm not as scared.
There, I'm back on camera.
Oh, you're back.
Well, I was. Oh, well.
No, you.
I didn't move.
Yeah, I need to fix that.
So Wes and I just Wes and I will get you back in because you'll be because you'll be on one of the ghost hunts. Special guest Amanda.
Oh my gosh,
wouldn't it be cool?
Years ago, I did this one. It was actually the first virtual reality horror movie. I've never seen it, and that was super interesting to shoot VR. It's so different than any other thing that you film, but we shot it in a real, like a haunted house tour thing. Like it's there permanently, and these actors that do the characters in this, like they live in that world and they live those characters. And I do have to say, that place was so scary to me because they didn't respect when the camera was rolling. When the camera wasn't rolling, they would just come up behind you and like, and it was super scary. And it was somewhere in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. Oh God, I wish I could remember the name of this place. You guys might know what it is. And the actors that play these characters were so devoted to them, and the place was so creepy and so scary. And I think that it's all year long, like people rent it out and go through it. This is one of the scariest places I've ever been. And that place, I did get a tiny bit scared, but I wasn't with the ghost hunting team. I was just there trying to figure out how to do VR. And it's called 360 Degrees of Hell. Oh. And the place itself was so scary. I've never, like I said, seen the VR, but I can't imagine that it's not scary. It was super fun to learn how to do that, like how they do close-ups and stuff, but you're filming a room 360 degrees. So everything is kind of hidden, and it was very, it was super interesting. Anyway.
That is interesting. Oh, you said that you do listen to podcasts. Are there any podcasts that you would recommend? Because there's a lot of people in the horror community that do tend to listen to like true crime.
This one.
Yeah. I love true crime, and I can't think of the name of the one I watched. Sorry. It just, my mind went blank. But horror-wise, I love Danielle Harris and Scouts Talk Scary to Me. I love their podcast. I think it's really fun and refreshing, and I like the oh gosh, Barbara Crampton and
oh, I know which one that is, but I can't think of the name of it.
Can't either. I'm sorry, Barbara. I love you so much, and I'm just spacing out for some reason. I oh my God, I'm having a senior moment, but I can't think of, but they have really interesting guests on, and so does Talk Scary to Me. And there's so many true crime. Okay, some of the true crime I like are where they take, say, a murder, and they just break it up into like 8 episodes, and they'll tell you the story of, or 6 episodes, or becomes like a series about them trying to solve the case. I'm really into those. Maybe that's just how my brain works, because I love the drama of it, of you know, I don't know. I'm always like, oh, I'd love to narrate one of those and be like, and then I don't know. I think it'd be so much fun.
That's hilarious. And then he walked in the door. No, it's like pieces of the puzzle that all come together within 8 episodes. So that, you know, I totally get that, because there's, you know, it's kind of like the Ed Gein story that was just, you know, put out by. See, now I'm not thinking of his name too.
Was it Netflix?
Yes.
Netflix did it. Okay, how phenomenal was he, the actor whose name? Look at you and I. We're gonna be like The Thing, but we can't think of the name.
I
of
know.
The Thing.
I feel
with the
terrible
guy who Charlie Hunnam.
Yes,
Charlie
thank
Hunnam.
you. Yes.
So good.
I'm sorry, but when you can transform yourself to be on Sons of Anarchy, where you're just this punk, you know, biker or whatever, and then now you're this guy, he changed his voice and everything.
Yeah.
I can't watch that. That actually happened here in Wisconsin with Ed Gein.
Right.
So nope, I'm good with just, but I did watch the trailer to it, you know, to give you insight on how it was going to be. And I was like, wow, listen to his voice.
Yeah.
Wild. So.
Oh, I know. That was good.
You'd probably let him wear you as a lampshade, wouldn't you?
Oh, God. There's a lot of women that would say that.
Wouldn't.
Well, everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. Our great guest tonight has been Amanda Wyss. A lot of fun, Amanda. Great meeting you. And yes, whatever pull I have, I will throw behind you. But it's usually very little, just so you know.
No worries at all. And thank you guys for having me. And I'm so happy to reconnect and to just chat with you. And I think you're both phenomenal, and super grateful you wanted to have me on.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for the
you,
chat
and everybody.
tonight.
See you next week. We're going paranormal next week.
Ooh.